if we look at the data that's coming in now, we search based on our needs, okay? So there are what we call searches with clicks, with ads, and there are searches with organic clicks. Sort of just they're there because we've done a good job with SEO. And then there's zero click searches, which means basically they're checking things out just by putting it in directly. So we're seeing a lot of long-term results are coming from more organic keywords. So when you practice your keywords on a regular basis, you'll get better long-term results. You'll get quicker results with ads and pay-per-clicks, but you'll get more long-term results with practicing search engine optimization and keywords and on-page and off-page strategies. And when we look at what digital marketers are really looking at in terms of plans for 2020, we see that they're taking a look at trying to generate more leads and, of course, trying to get more customers acquired and increase their consumer engagement, which, if you look down the list of things, it's all about increasing, improving, and expanding their brand reach. And that's key. And that's what we use keywords for, and the optimization and the pay-per-clicks to get our brand awareness out there. Remember, that first part of the funnel was the consumer awareness, right? So we need to get that consumer aware of who we are, and that could come in a lot of different ways, shapes, and forms. So if we think about search engine marketing, well, what really is it? How do you define that? Well, there's a bunch of different definitions, but basically it comes down to creating a digital marketing strategy that includes a number of things. It includes social media, it includes SEO, it includes pay-per-click, it includes content. So it's a strategy that helps you get your word out. And I heard some interesting comments over the last few weeks because we're now moving more online. Well, we've been online for quite some time now, but now with the coming out of the pandemic, it's moved us there faster. I heard someone said something where we shouldn't call it online business anymore. We should just call it business. And I think that's true, because all business now is being conducted in an omni-channel type of environment, online and offline. So all the big retailers, you have to be online, you have to be offline, you have to have that omni-channel operation. It doesn't matter what you're selling, food products, clothing products, even restaurants, right? You have to be able to take orders online. So that's what we're seeing right now. And search engine marketing really includes all that strategy. Now, we know one of our goals has to be to make sure that our website is strong. Everything starts with the website. Now, you could practice good online interface or online awareness through social media, just having an Instagram channel or maybe even a Facebook channel or something, TikTok or YouTube channel, things of that nature. You can have all that and you could be successful. It's probably not the best way to approach digital marketing because eventually you need a website. A website is like, it validates who you are and what you do, believe it or not. When people go to the .com, yourbusiness.com, they want to validate what you are. So what's happening out there right now is we do these searches. Most of our searches are happening on our phone. So when we put in yourbusiness.com and we get to that on our phone, it's not optimized and it's not mobile ready. And that's a problem because if we know our traffic is coming in from mobile handhelds and tablets and things of that nature, our websites have to be optimized to that. And there are statistics out there now that show that nearly half of the websites are not optimized. I engage in clients all the time that don't have fully optimized websites for mobile, which is a problem because that's where a lot of their traffic is coming from. So we have to keep that in mind. Our website has to be up and running. That's where a lot of this discussion has to start, because if your website is not as good as it needs to be, you will not keep that consumer engaged and it'll be hard to validate that. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about SEO. It starts with the website. So let me continue through. So we know now, here's how this all works, and we already know it because we practice it every day, right? And there are I forgot the number is, but I think billions of searches on a regular basis. There's actually live stats that give us this information. But you go to Google, and Google's not the only search engine out there. There's several out there, and you need to optimize to all. But we'll focus in on Google here because it represents a big portion of the searches, let's say. So you punch in, I want to look for, let's say you took one of my past digital marketing courses, and you don't remember my website, you don't remember a lot more about me, you just remember it's Prof Ken US. You push that in there, and out will come the results for my information. And you can see this is what we call here the search engine results page, which is sometimes called SERP, search engine results page. So basically, this is a page that just shows you the results after the user types in keywords into the search engine, right? And in this particular case, you can see that I typed in Professor Ken US, and then out comes my information and how it lays out into the search engine. And we'll talk a little bit more about these elements here, but that's sort of how you would track someone coming to your website, okay? So that's where it starts. It starts with the search engine results page. Now, what we need to remember is when a searcher puts something in, they want something quickly, right? A searcher wants something now. They want everything. They want it all. They want it right now. They need to know what it is. And when they put it into the Google search bar, out comes the results. So how do you look at that page? Well, if you go back and take a look at that search engine results page, it's broken down into several components. The top is normally where the ads are, and we'll look at this a little more closely here in a minute or two. Then you have ads on the right, and then the bottom, mostly the bottom of it, it's all organic and it's based on merit. And Google has an algorithm that will rank you higher based on the merit, and we'll talk about some of those components here for that SEO in just a few moments. So our job as marketers, our job as business leaders here, when we're talking about digital marketing, is to stay focused on what the searcher wants. So we have to dial in. It's like a match game type of thing, right? I say, Professor Ken US, you say, okay, here it is. I say, I need digital marketing. You say, okay, here it is. I say, I need a red face mask. You say, okay, here it is. And that's sort of how it works. You have to anticipate what your consumers will say. That's why when we start this process, we go through the exercise of understanding what our competition does. We go through the exercise of what our persona does and who our persona is and what our target markets are, what their likes and dislikes are, what their pain points, because we want to uncover all these specific keywords that we can use in our marketing strategy. So there's some rationale behind understanding that. The more you know about who your consumer is and how they search, the better you'll be in trying to attract them and get them to where they need to be, okay? So if you think about the search engine results page, and let's stay focused here on the organic piece for a moment. Google's looking at several different things. One of them is the authority of not only your site, but the authority of the backlinks of the sites that are coming into your site. So it's important to have those backlinks, and those are links that are coming in from blogs or from journals or from other companies that are out there that are tied into your website. Now, you also need to have links within your site. Those internal links have to be there as well. So you should have links going from page 1 to page 5, page 7 to page 15, and back and forth and things like that, because that helps create a stronger network. But we're looking for credibility. Google will be looking for authority and credibility of the content, not only on your website, but of the backlinks too. And that helps with your ranking. So if you could get a link from a higher authority website into your website, that helps with your organic ranking, okay? Some ways to do that, one of the most easiest, in my opinion, ways to do that is to make sure that you have a very robust YouTube page, because YouTube actually is the #2 search engine in the world, and there's a lot of traffic there, and it will help rank those pages and send people to your site. Also, if you could figure out a way, if you sell a product or a service, maybe you have an Amazon account or even an eBay account or some type of marketplace account that will rank in there. That's where your social media pages come into place too. LinkedIn pages, Instagram pages, Facebook, all that helped create this authority. That's the public domain piece, let's say, the social media part of it. But then there's also the private part of it, where you could get guest bloggers to link to you, or get fellow companies that work together with you to link to you. So you're looking for brand authority and getting these inbound links. That will help with your organic search. You also need to make sure that your website is relevant. When Google's looking at things, they're looking at the ranking of where you are in the world, and they're looking at certain keywords. So make sure that you're using keywords in your content on your website, and you're using them strategically also. And if you go out and you start looking and you punch in a couple of things that you do into Google, and you see what type of search words come up, try to put them into your content. And maybe you have a blog that's tied to your content, or tied to your website rather, that's filled with content. You can create blogs based on those keywords, and videos based on those keywords. And we'll look at some of this here to help you understand the best practices. We also know that you should use your keywords in your URLs, the actual address, the domain names that you're sending, the pages that you're sending individuals to. That helps with rankings. And the basic page on the website should be formatted correctly. We need to use bold fonts where appropriate. We also need to set up what we call header tags where that's appropriate, and we'll discuss that a little further. Header tags are like H1, H2, H3, H4, and it's sort of where Google sees something and says, oh, that ties into what we're looking for, and that's a header, which is introduces us to the rest of the page. And we need to make sure that we're taking our keywords and we're applying that into our text and title. So keywords are an important part of who we are as a website, and they really make up a big part of our search engine optimization. So that's why we have to really dial in on these keywords. Okay, so let's talk about searches in general. Now, if we remember that a search starts with someone needing something, right? A problem I need to solve, or something I need. We know that need, that problem needs to be solved by an individual, by people. Everybody behind the internet are individuals that need and want something. So you and I go online all the time. We make searches. I probably make, I don't know, 30 to 50 searches a day, not necessarily to buy something, but maybe to learn more information, or to get some additional things I need from a research point of view. If I'm researching, it's probably a lot more than 50 searches a day. But I'm looking for a specific item, or a specific content to fill my need, or what I'm looking to do. Most of us want to purchase something and save money. That's important too. Most of us want to purchase something to make our lives easier. That's important as well. So we have all kinds of different reasons to make searches, but individuals make the searches. So we have to understand that every single search has what we call intent and context. So the intent is what the person is searching for, and the context is why they're searching for it. So my intent is I'm looking for a I don't know, a 5-star inclusive Caribbean resort, maybe 4 stars. I don't know if I can go 5. Let's go 4. A 4-star inclusive Caribbean resort, okay? And that's what I'm looking for. And why am I searching? Because maybe I have an anniversary or a special occasion coming up, or maybe I just want to get out of this craziness and go somewhere and relax and do nothing. So you have to understand the intent and context of why someone is searching for something. And if you understand that, you can start developing keywords and both what we call short tail and long tail, which we'll cover here in a couple minutes. And you'll be able to fill in the blanks and help them. So in most cases, if you think about it, when's the last time you just punched in, when you search for something, you just punched in resorts? You haven't done that in a long time. Now, if you think about this, when we started the internet, I guess we're getting into the 25 years sooner or later, but that's what we used to do. Just punch in one word and out will come some results. But now, what do we do when we search for something? We actually put in an entire sentence. Show me resorts, or resorts in Mexico, all-inclusive resorts in Mexico, or all-inclusive results in Mexico under $500 a day or $500 a week, all-inclusive results in the Bahamas, that's that type of stuff, or all-inclusive vacations for 3 days, things like that. And you have that choice. So we come up with this whole set of words, and it's really a query of what we're trying to do. And that's the intent and context there in that query. So if you think about it, you can see how people are searching for things and group them together. So if you see that, then when you do your marketing, you could answer that question and then be able to answer a group of individuals, because most people are searching for things like, help me do this. How do I do this? How can I save X, right? Or what should I do when this happens? So if you understand what the basic search queries are for your product or service, then you could really answer those questions before they even get to the last word. And that's important. And that's a big part of developing your content and understanding your keywords that drive that content. So let's look at what Google AdWords is right now and understand what it can do for us. So if we remember that when we punch in something into Google, the results will come up. At the top of the page, in most cases, will be ads. And depending upon how popular those items are, it'll give you X amount of ads. So you can see in this example, what I punched in was grow my business with digital marketing, because that's what I want to do, right? It's context and intent. So the answers that come up are 3 ads right there on top. And if you look at the 3 ads, you can see that it covers some of those words and ties it all in together. So that's how you would respond to someone's search. So these Google AdWords, we create from, and I'll show you a couple keyword planners that we can use. With the Google AdWords planner, for instance, you need an ad account, or you want to look for context and intent to get these Google keywords to help you come up. Now, the ads are a little different because you have to pay. It's a pay-per-click scenario. So those ads there right on top are actually paid for. And they're paid for based on a combination of these words. So if someone punched in, grow my business with digital marketing, that's a keyword set that they put in there. And that's why they populate it up on top. The additional tool that you can use is this Google Ads Keyword Planner. And you can see here, what I did was I put in grow my business with digital marketing. And here is the actual amount of searches per month, which are not high at all. And then you can see some like and very similar words and what it would cost to get those words. So if I wanted this set of keywords, it would come up as digital marketing agency or digital marketing company or online marketing agency. You can see that the search high for that is digital marketing agency. And to be at the top of the page, I would have to pay $18 for that. And to be at the top of the bid page at $7. So I need to have a nice budget. But now look at the words below, which are less searches, but more active. They're medium. Their costs are $8 to $36. So your ranking and the bid that you pay for a word is based on its popularity. And in this particular case, when you use the keyword planner, it'll come up with some ideas and some suggestions, and it will give you some search options here that you can go ahead and add as well. So as we build these campaigns, we have to understand what keywords we're looking for. I'll show you another tip here on how to get some keywords, and we'll actually go into that practice here in just a few minutes. But if you think of when you put in the Google search bar, and you know they have a section there, and it's a great section where people also ask. And you can see there's a nice section in here that has answers to questions that people also ask. So how can I promote my business digitally? How do businesses use digital marketing? How is digital marketing important for business? What are the 4 types of promotion? What types of 2 types of SEO? And if I open up one of those answers, I see a whole section of answers to this particular question here. Now, I can come in here and start pulling some of this information and developing my keywords and my content, which I'll show you how to do here in just a few minutes. But that's another place that you can get some keywords. So this doesn't cost you anything. This is all free to get. So when we start understanding what our rankings are and we start understanding what our keywords are, we have to sort of measure and track them, because our keywords need to be fluid. They need to change, and they need to get updated on a regular basis. Remember that the internet's not static. It's always constant. So just because you did your SEO today doesn't mean a month from now you'll keep that same spot, because things change. Just like your competition all over the world, by the way, because we're global now, right? But your competition is also doing the same thing, trying to get up in the rankings, because they want to be on that first page. They want to be on that second page. Generally speaking, most searches don't go past the 3rd page. You know, they very rarely even get to the 3rd page. So you want to try to be on that 1st or 2nd page, or in those hot zones on that search engine results page. So what I would do is, as a part of your best practice, create your list of your top keywords and then run them and see where they're getting you. Put them in on a monthly basis, track it for 3 months, track it for 6 months, see how those results are changing. And then what you could do is sort of get better at what you're trying to do, and see where you are in the rankings. Remember, you're not going to jump from 0 to 1 in a month or 2. It takes time to move up the rankings. Now, if something happens fast, then that's unusual, and there's probably something else going on there. So we have to recognize that it does take time. So it's a long-term strategy, though. It's a long-term strategy. Changing things up today will be positive tomorrow, but it's going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight. So that's why when you have a website, you have to update the website too. Google loves fresh content. They like updates. So don't just make a website and let it sit there and do nothing to update it. That's why blogs have become more important today than they've been in the past. They've always been important, but now they help. Social media, updated images, different types of fresh content, All that helps your website, and Google likes to see that. And if you build your website, try to put the plan together to update it on a regular basis. I would say update your website every couple of weeks if you have the time. If you're managing your own website, then try to put something on there. Maybe blog once a month if you can't do anything else. You should really blog once a week, but if you can't do it once a week, blog once a month, or change some descriptions of your product, change some descriptions about your history. Just keep it fresh. And also make sure you're tying your website into what other sites have and what other sites have to offer, and always start collecting these backlinks, because that's going to help a lot. So let's talk specifically about keywords here. So if you just punch in the keyword face mask, a bunch of information will come up for face mask, right? You'll see in this particular case, they'll have stories or ads, and there'll be shopping, and there'll be information there. That is what we call the short tail word. That's a very direct word for face mask, and we'll look at the practice of that. The next thing you could do is put in a little longer tail keyword, more descriptive, and it says red cloth face mask. Now, red cloth face mask is more of a long tail keyword, and that's more effective because most of the searches today happen with these long tail keywords. I think it was 80% of all searches are long tail. So there's not just 1 or 2 words, it's more 3 words, 4 words, 5 words, because you have the context and intent there. So we want to look at these long tail keywords because they're effective in what we do. Normally you want to do something, you want to take action, maybe you're looking for a specific type of information. So there's where you would find like, red cloth face mask near me in my town, or delivered in 24 hours, something like that. And you can see there's a different set of results when you put in long tail keywords. And generally speaking, these long tail keywords are less expensive to add to your pay-per-click, and they're more concentrated. So you get better traffic with these long tail keywords than you do with short tail keywords, because there's not a lot of competition out there. And it's very specific, right? How many people are punching in right now that they need a red cloth face mask? I don't know what the number is, but there's 129 million results. That's a lot. So there's some answers out there, but how many people are searching for it? Not a lot, and probably a lot less than just cloth face mask or face mask. And that helps drive your traffic, which will improve your conversion. That's a good way of doing it. So one idea that we have to keep in mind when we talk about understanding how our website is optimized, we looked at making sure that we have our keywords laced in there. We looked at making sure that we understand how to optimize some of the basic fundamental points of a website. But the website also has to be indexed with Google, and we have to understand what Google is looking at. And there is one tool that you can use just to understand how many search results are out there for your particular website. If you use, if you go into the Google search bar and just put in site and then the colon and then domain.com, whatever your domain name. So in this case, I put site professorken.us. Google will tell me how many searches are out there, how many pages can be searched or indexed to my site. And in this case, there's not a lot on this site. This is a smaller site than my business site, where I have like over 100 different pages. This one has 41 results that could be answered. So that's the direct. That will tell you that your site's being indexed, and that's great. Now, I could tell you the largest sites that are out there have thousands of pages, and an average website, a small business website, should have between 50 and 100 pages. I think that's a good number, and that helps with your organic traffic. So we have to keep that in mind. So make sure if you're building content, you're adding fresh content, and maybe you're creating new pages. You might have to have a web designer do that, but this is all part of growing your SEO.